What happens when the perfect life is a lie? Can wealth and power really buy happiness? Or is there a darker cost? In the heart of Abuja, a business tycoon seems to have it all, but what is he hiding? And when ambition takes control, who will be left standing? Well, let's find out. You are welcome to Tales by Signora, where timeless African folktales come to life. Every story holds a lesson, every legend, a message. Join us on this journey through rich stories passed down for generations. Remember to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you never miss a tale, and don't forget to like and share the magic with others. Let the adventure begin. Kola Soni was a name known by all in the bustling city of Abuja. His rise to power was the stuff of legend, an ambitious young man from humble beginnings, armed with nothing but a sharp mind and an unyielding determination. In just a few short years, he had built a fortune from his business dealings, first in construction, then in real estate, and finally in oil. His name became synonymous with wealth and success. But it was not just his business acumen that made him famous. Kola had a magnetic personality, a charm that drew people in like moths to a flame. He knew how to make others feel important, how to make them believe in him. It was this charm that had captivated Amara, a woman of grace and intelligence who had grown up in the modest outskirts of the city. Amara was everything Kola could have wanted in a wife, beautiful, poised, and supportive of his dreams. She stood by him through his struggles, and when he finally hit it big, he made sure to repay her loyalty. He gave her the world, a mansion that could rival any royal palace, jewels that sparkled brighter than the stars, and a lifestyle that seemed to have no limits. To everyone else, their marriage was perfect, a fairy tale come to life. But Amara, despite her outward happiness, began to feel an unsettling emptiness growing within her. The man she had married, the man who had once promised her the world, was slowly becoming a stranger. Kola had changed. Amara had always been a woman of simplicity. She cherished the quiet moments with Kola in their sprawling mansion, where the scent of roses filled the air and the servants catered to their every need. Yet, in the beginning, their life together had seemed like a dream, a golden dream that shimmered with promise. Kola's charm had swept her off her feet, and he had filled her life with luxuries beyond anything she had ever imagined. Their wedding was the talk of the town. Guests arrived in their finest attire, the streets of Abuja lined with black-tie limousines and luxury cars. The reception hall was adorned with gold chandeliers, and the sounds of laughter and music filled the air. The night seemed to stretch on forever, and Amara couldn't help but feel like a queen, draped in priceless jewels, surrounded by admiration and affection. Kola, standing by her side, seemed to be everything she had ever wanted: attentive, loving, and generous. He lavished her with attention, whispered sweet words into her ears, and kissed her with the tenderness of a man who adored her. He promised to be her rock, her protector, and her partner in all things. But as the months went by, the golden glow of their marriage began to fade, replaced by a more complex and darker reality. Amara could no longer ignore the small changes in Kola's behavior, the subtle shifts in his demeanor that suggested something was not quite right. At first, it was the little things. Kola would ask her about the places she went, the people she spoke with, always with an air of possessiveness. He began to check her phone without asking, read through her messages, and when she questioned him, he would dismiss her concerns with a smile. "I just want to make sure you're safe, Amara," he would say, his voice smooth and soothing, but there was something behind his words that felt off. Amara brushed it off, telling herself that it was just the pressures of Kola's growing empire. After all, he had become more influential, his businesses expanding into new territories. But as the months passed, it became clear that Kola's obsession with power and control was not limited to his empire. It was seeping into every corner of their life together. It was late one evening when the first major crack appeared. Kola returned home from a high-profile business dinner, his mood dark and brooding. He barely spoke to Amara as she greeted him at the door, her heart sinking as she saw the tension in his eyes. "Where were you today?" Kola asked, his voice colder than usual. Amara hesitated. "I went to visit my mother in the village," she replied, her voice soft. Kola's eyes narrowed. I thought I told you not to go there. We have business to attend to here. Amara. I had to see her, Amara stammered, feeling a tight knot form in her stomach. It was important. Cola's face darkened, his usual composure slipping. Your family should know their place, Amara. You belong here, with me, in this house. Don't let them distract you from what's important. His tone had turned sharp, cutting through the air like a blade. Amara stood frozen, unsure of what to say. She had never seen Cola like this before. She had always admired his ambition, but now she felt as though something darker had taken hold of him. The following days brought more subtle signs of Cola's growing control. He began to question her every move, insisting on knowing where she was at all times. When she wanted to attend a social gathering with her friends, he would make excuses to keep her at home, always citing business or important matters. She was no longer free to make decisions without his approval. The gifts and tokens of affection that had once made her feel cherished now felt suffocating. The mansion, once a symbol of Cola's love for her, had become a gilded cage. The servants, once friendly faces, now seemed to watch her every step with a knowing look, as if they too were under Cola's spell. Amara began to withdraw into herself. She no longer felt the joy she once had in her new life. The wealth that had seemed like a blessing now felt like a curse. She had everything material a woman could want, but the emotional connection she had once shared with Cola had been replaced by coldness, possessiveness, and manipulation. But the worst was yet to come. One fateful afternoon, Amara sat in the living room, staring out at the sprawling gardens, when she heard the sound of laughter echoing from the front gate. She looked up to see Cola greeting a woman with a warmth she hadn't seen in years. She was striking, tall, with long, flowing hair and a smile that seemed to light up the room. Zara, Cola introduced her, his old business partner and a friend from his past. Amara forced a smile and extended her hand to Zara. Nice to meet you, she said, but something in her stomach churned with unease. Zara was a striking woman, confident, poised, and at ease in a way that Amara could never seem to be anymore. As the days passed, Zara became a frequent visitor at their mansion, always by Cola's side as they discussed business matters. Amara tried to ignore the growing sense of discomfort that arose each time Zara entered the room. There was something between them, something unspoken but undeniable. Cola seemed to change whenever Zara was around. His smiles were more genuine, his laugh a little louder, and he would often touch her arm or share a joke with her that seemed to exclude Amara. Amara felt her presence slipping away from Cola, replaced by Zara's. One evening, Amara overheard a conversation between the two of them as she passed by the study. Zara's voice, soft but teasing, drifted through the door. You know, Cola, if you'd only let me take care of things, everything would be perfect. You wouldn't need her anymore. Amara froze. The words felt like a slap in the face. Her. That was how Zara referred to her. She, who had stood by Cola for years, was now nothing more than a shadow in his eyes. When Amara confronted Cola about it, he dismissed her concerns. You're imagining things, Amara. Zara is just a business partner. There's nothing more to it. But his eyes, avoiding hers, told a different story. He was hiding something that cut deeper than she was willing to admit. The story doesn't end here. Stay tuned for part 2, where the battle for freedom and redemption continues. What will Amara's next move be? Will Cola's empire crumble completely, or will he rise from the ashes? Find out what happens next in this epic saga. Make sure to hit that notification bell, so you don't miss the next chapter.